So we have a number of candidates here tonight. We're going to go right on the ballot. We're going to start on the left and work our way over. We're going alphabetically and by the party, and so that's how we're going to determine who's going first tonight. We'll do it right off the ballot, courtesy of the Board of Elections in Clinton County. And I do want to welcome you. As Wendy said, we are so happy to have Adirondack Young Professionals co-hosting with us. Elliot and Tyler will be picking up your questions when you're done and getting them to me. We have invited the candidates from several races within the city and town of Plattsburgh to participate tonight. The candidates are going to have 3 minutes to introduce themselves to the audience, and then after we hear from all of the candidates, we're going to open it up to questions from you, our audience. So what we're going to do is the candidates will speak to you, then we'll take a few questions from the audience for those candidates while they're right here, and then we'll move on to the next race. So we are going to get things started. Once again, fill out the questions. If you didn't get the cards or pen, right up at the front desk, and you can get your questions filled out. So I am going to have this. I will keep time for the candidates over here, and we will get the evening started, and we want to thank everybody for being here tonight. So with that, we begin with Clinton County Family Court Judge and the Democratic and Working Families candidate, Amy Asadourian, Senecal. Welcome. And if it's okay, we're going to put the microphone, you can walk with the microphone. The radio station and the television station would love it if you folks stay here and speak into all the mics, but if you're a mover and you have to walk, then we get it. So whatever you feel comfortable. And we will mention there is a TV camera here tonight from Mountain Lake PBS. Within a couple of days, we'll have all of this posted on our website. So, okay, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing this.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name's Amy Asadourian, Senecal, and I'm running for the position of Family Court Judge. I'm running on the Democratic line and the Working Family line. I grew up here in Plattsburgh, New York, and married my husband, Tim, who's over there. We celebrated our 29th anniversary this past weekend, and we have 2 grown children. Our daughter, Kelsey, lives in Detroit, works for the Detroit Lions, so she's not with us tonight. And our son, Mitchell, is finishing up, I think, a local football practice. He's a coach, a physical education teacher, and teaches locally in this area. I'm running for Family Court Judge because my entire career has prepared me for this job. I came back to Plattsburgh in 1991-92 after graduating from law school, Boston University, graduated college at Williams College, and graduated Plattsburgh High School. When I came back, I joined the firm of Asadourian and Johnston with my dad, Era Asadourian, and Stephen Johnston, who's still a practicing attorney here in town. I did that for about 10 years, practiced in a variety of areas, concentrated in family law, practiced in Clinton County, Franklin County, and Essex County. In 2001, I had the opportunity to begin my career in family court. The then judge and now retired judge, Tim Lawless, asked me to be his court attorney, and I began my 18-year career as the court attorney in Clinton County Family Court. I have extensive knowledge in every case that's heard in family court. I'm happy to have that discussion more individually outside of these 3 minutes after with anybody that would like to have that. Over those 18 years, I was on the planning and implementation team of the Clinton County Treatment Court and the Clinton County Integrated Domestic Violence Court. I also, as part of my tenure and part of my role as a court attorney, I conference thousands of cases, trying to help facilitate resolutions for parties that come before court, letting them be heard, letting them have a voice in how those resolutions are done. After those 18 years, which involved just so much more extensive work in family court, I was appointed to be the current support magistrate in Clinton County Family Court. The appointment actually in 2019 involved my hearing the Clinton County docket and the Franklin County docket. I'm currently assigned to the Clinton County docket. I hear and determine the child support, paternity, and spousal support cases in Clinton County Family Court. One of the things I do take pride in is I continue the desire to have people heard. I've carried the skill set I took over from conferencing cases over the 18 years as a court attorney, and I try to mediate and facilitate resolutions wherever possible as now the presiding magistrate in family court hearing these cases. I do so because I think when people have a voice in the outcome, they all feel better about it when they leave. When that can't happen and people can't reach an agreement, I do make the decisions. I apply the laws fairly and justly and I try to resolve all the issues. In that role, again, I've heard thousands of cases in the almost now 4 years I've served in that position. That's who I am. I appreciate everyone coming tonight. I had a lot of thank yous, and I didn't start with them. Not my strong suit up here. I want to thank the organizers of the event tonight for doing this, a wonderful event. I want to thank you for moderating tonight. I want to thank MHAB for this great facility. We meet here every Wednesday for Rotary. They do a fabulous job. I want to thank my families and friends who came out here tonight. And I know it's not perhaps the purpose tonight, but my husband has been just unbelievably supportive, encouraging, and patient, and helpful during this entire process. So I'd be remiss if I didn't thank him personally. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. And now, please welcome the Republican and Conservative Party candidate for Clinton County Family Court Judge, Hilary Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Hallock. I want to first thank the Champlain Valley Business and Professional Women and the Adirondack Youth Young Professionals for hosting this event. I feel very short. All right, that's okay. For those of you who don't know me, I was born and raised in Clinton County. I grew up in Keysville. I went to Sable Valley High School. Back then, I went by the name of Hilary Stanley. Now I'm Hilary Rogers. My husband, who's sitting in the back, and I have 2 children. One is 9 and one is 11. They go to Sable Forks Elementary School. I have been practicing for about 17 years. I have a diverse background in what I've done and what I bring to the table. I'm currently the Chief Assistant Public Defender for the county. I handle a large caseload of high-level felonies as well as supervise 15 employees, 8 of which are attorneys. I am the only candidate that has served in multiple capacities. I have served as a prosecutor, a defense attorney. I've served as a family court attorney, an attorney for the child. I also worked for the Attorney General's office, and I handled some statewide initiatives while at the Attorney General's office. I have found in my years of practicing law and representing thousands of clients that a lot of people just don't trust the system. They don't trust how the system has evolved at the point we are now. They feel that they aren't heard. They feel that they don't trust the process. And when people trust the process, they trust the outcome a little bit better. I will bring some compassion, fairness, and respect to all individuals who are in the courtroom with me. I think that it's important that we remember, and oftentimes it's forgotten, that regardless of people's situations, they're human beings. Every single person who walks into the courtroom, from the attorneys who are practicing to the individuals who are bringing their cases or defending their cases, are all human beings. They all have feelings, they all have emotions. I've also had experience on each side of the table, as a prosecutor, as a defense attorney, as a parent attorney, as an attorney for the child. It gives me the unique perspective that I'm able to evaluate cases from both sides. I can say, here are the good and the bad of my side. Here are the good and the bad of the other side. This allows me to connect with my client and for them to understand the process and what's going on and why they may not be getting the outcomes that they want to get. I approach, and I will approach being a judge just like I approach everything else, compassionately and fairly. My experience representing these clients, my clients, both in family court and criminal court, have given me the ability to partner with community entities. I work with the Imminent Risk Task Force for Clinton County. I work with law enforcement. I work with Clinton County Mental Health and Addiction Services, BHSN, NAMI, and handling cases that are sensitive. People who have addictions, people who are living with mental health disorders, not everything is straightforward. Sometimes we need out-of-the-box solutions. One other thing that has given me the experience and the ability to become a fair and impartial judge and to sit in judgment is I was appointed by the appellate division in the 3rd department to sit and evaluate when law students graduate whether or not they have the moral capacity and the requisite morals to become an attorney. And thank you, everybody, and I'm here to talk with anybody afterwards as well.
Thank you, Hilary. Thank you. Can you hear them okay? Should I try to move the mic, or is the audio okay? Good. That's great about this room. The acoustics are nice, and that makes it great. So we're going to invite both of the candidates back up. I have one question to begin with. I suspect there may be some more that come in during the night, so I will go over those, and while we start, Amy, if you would be so kind, we'll start with you.
That should all be for Judge.
Okay. And we know, come right on up. Yeah, Amy and Hilary as well, and we'll have you both go one at a time. We know that your questions for judges are a little bit limited, so we will be careful in what we ask you. But the first question was, what prior skills, and I know you both touched on this a little bit in your opening statements, but what prior skills can you transfer from your previous jobs to this position if elected? And why don't you go first? 90 seconds.
Well, I think working presently backwards, I'm hearing cases every day now in family court. I think the skill set of determining these cases, especially I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but in child support court, we have a lot of individuals that come into court without attorneys. And so I've sat for the last almost 4 years in a unique position of making sure that these individuals have an opportunity to be heard, to get their cases before me without the assistance of attorneys, to make sure that the information that I need to be fair to them and to apply the laws is gathered. And I think that I've worked very hard. I almost can tell the minute two people walk in the door whether or not I'm going to be able to settle their case. I can feel it. I know when someone needs to be listened to. I know when they need to be heard. And I feel like if I let them talk about a little bit what they want to talk about, then I can facilitate something within the confines of the law, of course, that they both walk out with at least feeling that they both had an opportunity to be heard. I mean, 90 seconds. I was in private practice for 10 years. I've litigated cases. I went through the training to be an attorney for the child. I was an attorney for the child. I represented criminal defendants. I represented individuals in private cases. My first 10 years, when you're a general practitioner, you practice in a lot of areas, and so that as well. But so shortly, a lot more, but
Thank you so much. Hilary, same question for you. What prior skills can you transfer from your previous jobs to this position if elected?
Thank you. I manage a very high caseload. I manage a large staff. I think that those skills that I've learned from representing thousands of clients as well as managing these offices, the family court is a sensitive area, and people need resolution in family court as well. So I think being able to manage time management, manage people, manage skills, and also still be able to sit back, take a minute, see what's actually going on with a situation, that will translate into me being able to reduce the stress and the trauma and the instability that family court and the conflict in family court creates. Also, I was previously a collaborator for divorce mediation when I was in private practice, so I've had experience in negotiating my entire life, right? So my entire career I've been negotiating. I negotiate with my kids at home. I negotiate with my clients, but being able to sit back and listen to someone and listen to my clients and hear that they need a question answered and take the time to answer the question, that will also translate into being an effective and compassionate judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilary. Amy? We'll ask a few more questions, and then we'll get back to a few more if we can't get to them all. If more resources were available for the family court, which services do you feel need additional attention?
Good question. Well, I mean, when you're the judge in family court, of course, you work with the cases that come before you and you work with the litigants. I mean, there's definitely a need for attorneys in this area that practice family law. There's definitely a need for more attorneys for the children. We have a great attorney for the children office, and they have 2 attorneys there. But first and foremost, there's just not a huge bar that are practicing family law in this area. And recently, there's been some changes into who can qualify for free legal assistance, and so it's a many more people are going to qualify now, and there's just a limited bar here. So I would say first and foremost, if we had an hour, I can go through an entire discussion of what it was like to be on the team from the start of the family court treatment court forward, And then you work you work all the time, every week in the weekly meetings with all of the other resources available in the community. Employment resources. You have people who, they're economically fragile, and it causes all sorts of issues with regard to transportation, with regard to the ability to make appointments, with regard to the ability to get their children to and from different appointments. So there's whole sorts of resources in the community that there's a lot of people in this room that I know and see that know a lot more about that. But when we work on the drug court and resources with regard to substance abuse, mental health issues, economic issues, we had a component with regard to what older people call GED. It's not called that anymore, but education and ongoing education, employment. We had team members that dealt with employment. And so all resources to benefit the people whose families may be struggling would be just the tip of what would be needed.
Thank you. Hilary? Same question. If more resources were available for the family court, which services do you feel need addition or more attention?
Thank you. I also agree that the place where I would put more resources is the family court treatment court. This treatment court in the last few years has definitely dwindled in numbers. The availability for this treatment court to the participants in family court and the families in family court has decreased. So I think I would put my resources towards the treatment court, family court, in family court. And the reason why is because it brings it down to a ground level perspective. You are able to not be so wound up in court. So you can walk into a room and you can feel comfortable with the people you're there. You can walk into a room of people you know and be completely uncomfortable. Going into the family court in a position where it could be the worst day of your life, that's nerve-wracking. And you may not be able to get to everything you want to say, or may not be able to address all of your needs properly in the 15 minutes that you're allocated during your court appearance. And so I think that being able to take it down to a ground level, give more intensive case management to these individuals who need them in order to be able to keep their families together and be able to work towards a better family unit. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll do one more question. And actually, Amy, we'll go right in the same order, so come right on up. Thank you so much. And a number of these questions that we have ask much the same. How would you improve upon the current court? And I know that we just talked about if you had additional resources, what you would do, but how would you improve upon the current court system and the current court if that you would be taking over?
Well, there's currently, as you know, there's currently another judge primarily and some other judges that have taken over the family court load because the position has not been filled. So first thing, January 1st, there'd be a family court judge there. There will be a family court judge there. And the cases will go before that family court judge that come in. In terms of the structure of the court system, in the 23 years I've been there now, I've been involved in many conversations, the first 18 with the former judge and now myself. Every day I try to work on ways that the calendar can be improved. From making sure that litigants, when they have an appearance, I work very hard not to change that appearance date and time. I work very hard to make sure that if their case is in the morning, their case is in the morning. I work very hard because people when someone says they have a case on November 1st, and watch me just pick a Saturday, but November 1st, November 7th, if someone has no, that's an election day, November 8th. I forget we get election day off. I'm usually there. I forget we get it off. And November 8th, somebody they've taken the day off, they've gotten a babysitter, they've arranged for a car, they've done all of these things to make sure that they're available to come to court that day. I take that very seriously, and what I'm going to keep trying to do is improve the courts, like we all do that work there every day, to make sure that people get their cases heard, they get them heard on time, the decisions are done on time, they're done fairly. If there's processes that make people work in family court, and that's a stressful place to work. And so to make sure that the people that work in family court feel valued and feel heard, it's hard to speak about your own character and your own self, but I would invite anybody to speak with the people I work with, and I haven't talked to them about it, but I think I try very hard to make sure they feel valued every day at work. So there's the people that come to court, and there's the people that work in court, and every day improvements can be made, just like I'm sure they can be made in everybody's jobs.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Hilary? Same question. How would you improve upon the court that you take over?
Thank you. Over the last couple of months, and really over the last 17 years as well, I've had a lot of conversation with community partners. I've talked with the Director of Community Services, the Commissioner of Social Services, individuals who are at ground level, and attorneys who practice in both family court and in the other court systems in the county level, and at Supreme Court as well. Like, what works and what doesn't work. Everybody says there are certain things about the way different courts have been run that are good and are bad, right? And so what I plan to do is take a little bit of everything, right, and try and work it together. One of the things I think that's important is holding people accountable. At this point in time, a lot of the criticism of family court that I hear is that cases go on forever and that there's no resolution, and this causes instability and more stress and more trauma for the children. So I think that holding parents accountable, holding attorneys accountable, holding myself accountable for making sure that there is an efficient and streamlined process to get these cases heard are important, and to make sure that people are doing what they're saying they're supposed to be doing and hold people accountable. So that is the first step, is holding people accountable, including myself, to reduce the stress, the trauma, and the instability for the family unit. Thank you.
And thank you both. We have a couple more questions, but what we'll do, if it's okay, is we're going to bring up some of the other candidates and we'll come back to you, because I suspect we'll have a few more questions coming in as well. And that's also a little ploy we use to get folks to stick around, so we'll bring, you know how that works. So, all right, thank you both. Now let's move on to our candidates for county clerk in Clinton County. The first name on the ballot is Democratic and Working Families candidate Brandi Lloyd. Brandi? Welcome, and you have 3 minutes.
All right, thank you. First, I'd like to thank the Champlain Business and Professional Women and also the Adirondack Young Professionals for hosting this event tonight, our moderator, Thom Hallock, and thanks to all of you for being here. My name is Brandi Lloyd. Recently turned 50 years old, so now that I've gotten to look at all of you in order to see my notes, it's got to wear the glasses. I live in Morris with my husband. We've been married for 27 years. We have one son. His name is Ben, and he's finishing up his senior year at St. Lawrence University. I myself graduated from Clinton Community College and then went on to SUNY Plattsburgh. I actually met my husband at Clinton Community College, and we got married a few months after I graduated from Plattsburgh State. I held my first elected position in 2013. I was the town clerk tax collector in the town of Morris. In 2016, I was appointed the deputy commissioner at the Board of Elections, and I've been there now for just over 7 years. County clerk has been the plan since about 2014. A few people know that I started having discussions with them in regards to how to make that happen. I considered running in 2019, but the timing wasn't quite right for me. But this year, it is 100% right, and it is time for change. As your county clerk, I look forward to modernizing the DMV, returning to being open later, at least one night a week, in both the DMV and the clerk's office to better serve you. My time at the Board of Elections, working with state laws, and sometimes we had 20 new state laws just in 1 year, along with state mandates, has prepared me to be your county clerk. Training just a little bit about the job and my favorite parts of being the deputy commissioner. I love training, hiring, and scheduling the poll inspectors. Despite this time, I have some coworkers in the room where I feel like pulling my hair out. It still remains my favorite part. It's like a chess game going on over here, a couple chess games over here, but in the process, I get to know the over 100 elections inspectors that we hire, and I enjoy getting to know them and their preferences, where they like to work, who they like to work with, their favorite snacks. And I look forward to applying that to the team at the DMV and at the clerk's office. I look forward to being part of the team there and working with them shoulder to shoulder.
That a little bit closer.
Okay.
There we go.
I promise to bring a new energy, fresh perspective, a spirit of teamwork to the clerk's office, and I will make county clerk my full-time priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandi. Yeah, I'll try to move the mic a little earlier. Please, if you're having a hard time hearing, just say, could you get the mic a little closer, and we'll make sure to do that. And now the Republican and Conservative Party candidate, John Zurlo.
Thom.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
3 minutes, sir.
3 minutes? Good evening, everyone. Sandy, thanks for inviting me this evening. Appreciate the invite. First of all, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Graduated from St. Michael's College, returned to Champlain, was a teacher for 34 years and department head. I was chair of the business education department. I was elected a tax collector for 11 straight terms, 22 years. I was a county legislator for 3 terms. There were 2-year terms then, 6 years. And I've been the county clerk for 28 years. Very active in community affairs. Was on 3 boards, CVPH Medical Center Board for 7 years. Currently president of the St. Mary's Mission Center Board, and currently on the board of the St. Michael's College alumni. Been very active in the community, served on many committees. Currently, at the county, I am the United Way coordinator for the county employees. I'm the Northern Tier Salvation Army coordinator for Christmas donations. Recipient of several awards. Woodman of the Year Award for community service. Distinguished DeWitt Quitland Award from the Masonic Lodge for community service. And together with my wife, we were king and queen of the Mardi Gras, Behavioral Health Services North Mardi Gras, Northern Tier Chamber of Commerce Winter Carnival, and the CVPH medical, I guess it was a heart ball. Enough about myself. In the county clerk's office, when I came 28 years ago, the revenue was $650,000. I've got it up to $2.6 million. We're one of the cash cows for the county. You might say, well, inflation did that. No, inflation didn't do that at all. My predecessor, over 40 years ago, got 12.7% for everything he did in the DMV office. Today, we still get 12.7%. However, Governor Holcomb is going to boost that up in January. How did we do that? Well, I instituted a high-tech system of recording documents. When I got there, when you recorded a deed, it took 8 weeks to get that deed back to the person who submitted it for recording. Today, with this high-tech system that we've got of recording documents, we return that deed the same day it was recorded. Unbelievable. Where else does the money come from? I instituted a motor vehicle use fee. It's a small charge, $5 a year when you registered your car, $10 for a 2-year registration. Since 2002, I have given the county treasurer $2.6 million. I'm sorry, $9.6 million. $9.6 million collected from the motor vehicle use fee. What does the county do with that money? They apply it toward the real property tax. So you're paying $5 a year for the motor vehicle use tax, but you're getting about $7 a year off your property tax. And not only property owners are involved with this. Everybody that drives an automobile, might be a renter. He's helping to pay this bill too. So everybody's paying their fair share now. New York State changed the gunkeeper laws. We're up to date with that. We have a modern gunkeeper office. I remember years ago, some of you are maybe gunkeepers. You had a piece of paper that you put on your wallet. It got all smashed up. Now it's all done by credit card. Your guns are listed on the card. I instituted that.
Thank you, John.
Yes.
Thank you.
Am I done?
You were done for right now, but we have questions coming your way.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I got a lot more to say.
I suspect the first question is going to give you the chance to do that. Brandi, come right back up if you would.
I might also say that our office now is open 24/7. You want a copy of your deed at 2 in the morning, small fee, you can get it. So these are all things that I instituted over the years. We're as high-tech as any county in the state of New York.
Thank you, sir, and if you'll stay right up here.
Yep.
John and Brandi, first question, and this touches on what both of you were talking about. You can expand on what you were talking about. What are the duties of the county clerk? And for folks that may not be aware of everything that you do.
Okay. The keeper of the deeds of the county clerk, also you can apply for your notary license. As John mentioned, the epistle permits are through that office as well. They also keep the important documents of the Supreme Court and the county court. And so they are the keeper of all the records for our county, which is very important. And I'm sure when John started, he didn't know everything that the clerk's office did, but I promise I'm a quick learner. You could ask Mary, and I'll have that down in no time.
Thank you. John, same question. You've talked on some of them, the duties of the county clerk.
Yeah, I think Randy ran it off my palm card. Yeah, the county clerk is clerk of the Supreme and County Courts as well, chief notary of the county, chief record keeper for deeds, mortgages, also responsible for the DMV office. The DMV office is run by the state of New York. Many people think it's run by the county of Clinton. It's not. It's run by the state of New York. We follow all their rules. The motor vehicle use, it's all their computers. People say, well, why don't you hire more people in there? We can't. We're given so many slots in DMV. New York DMV gives us a computer for each of our employees that they feel are required for the size of our county. We're at maximum. And I begged and begged for one more computer, but they will not give it to us. So we're under their jurisdiction. Yeah, we also do passports. We do gun keeper rules, as I mentioned a little while ago, and we've updated all of those. As far as passports are concerned, years ago, we'd have to send a person out of the office, go and get a picture, and the local photographers didn't like to take passport pictures, because that'd be cut them a certain size. We bought our own camera, we do it ourselves, we make $12 a picture, and people, we don't have to send them out of the office and have to come back.
Thank you, John. Next question for both of you, if you'll stay right here. County legislators are termed out after 3 4-year terms. County judges are also termed out when they hit 70. Should it be the same for county clerk? Brandi, we'll start with you.
Term limits is a hot point right from the national level down. I definitely think it's something that should be explored. Maybe when the office, you become complacent to what is happening in the office, it might be time then for the voters to make that decision, that it's time for someone new in the office. I'm not against term limits in any way, and I look forward to legislators having that discussion.
John, same question.
My predecessor, Bernard Emel, served 3-year terms when he was in office, but the Clinton County Legislature, by resolution, changed that to a 4-year term. So I have no control over that. Board of Legislators do that. As far as term limits are concerned, I'm not in favor of them because I wouldn't be in office anymore. But I've had a great career as the county clerk. We're still making progress. We've got a lot more to do, and that's why I'd like to run for one more term.
All right, and we have one more question for both of you. Before we let you go, what is the biggest challenge facing the county and the county clerk's office? Brandi, we'll start with you. The biggest challenge.
The feedback I receive most from employees of and people that visit is the DMV office is time for that to be updated. There needs to be longer hours, as we discussed. There used to be pre-pandemic. Before the pandemic, also, they're about at half of the amount of employees that they have. If we could increase that, we could do hours from 8 to 4, and then have some of the staff stay from 9 to 5, and so that would not increase at all the budget of the DMV and paying the employees. So increasing that, and then also looking to modernize. Most of the county clerk's offices have kiosks where you can perform simple transactions with the ease of knowing that there are the employees there to help you, the clerk's there to help you if you need it. So you can walk right in, take care of maybe returning that license plate. Also, it would be important to, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I also think it would be important, in addition to extra staff, into looking into the clerk's office too for the extra staff and staying open later, but 100% the DMV needs to be improved. That's the complaints that you see all online and on Facebook, and I look forward to helping them do that.
Thank you, Brandi. John, the biggest challenge for the county and for the county clerk's office?
Well, I like to challenge what Brandi said about the DMV office. We can't hire any more employees. Number one, got to get through the personnel committee and then the county legislature. And we are given slots. Our slots are filled. We can't even get another computer from the state of New York, so what are you going to do with another employee? Be twiddling his thumbs. And we're not that busy anymore. We do a lot online. One of Kathy Hochul's new laws is that in January, she's going to pay us 10.75% for the work we do in our office, a little bit less than the 12.7. But instead of the 2% that we get online, she's going to pay us 10.75% for that too. So a lot of people are doing it online, and we don't care because we're going to make the same amount more revenue. We're going to make about $100,000 more this year because of that law. One of the important things that face the county clerk's office is our maps. Our maps are in deplorable condition. Some maps are way back from the 1700s, and they've got to be redone. Right now, I'm working on a grant to pay for that because the taxpayers can't pick up that fee. Only doing a portion of the maps that we have in the office, and the latest quote I got was over $100,000. So that's one of the important things that we have to do. Another thing is that I want to backfile more. Backfiling means that you take the records that you've got on hand, scan them into our computer system so that people can have more years to do genealogies and research. And as well as the abstractors, they can go back a little bit further.
Thank you.
So-
Good. Thank you. And thank you both. We may have a few more questions in a few minutes, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
We now move on to the Clinton County Legislature and the Area 5 seat, the 5th District covering the town of Schuyler Falls, the town of Peru, any other towns? Schuyler Falls and Peru, and Plattsburgh. Please welcome the Democratic and 5 First Party candidate, Rick Hazen. I think you have 3 minutes.
Thanks, Tom. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rick Hazen. I was born and raised in the North Country. I started off, our family was from Peru, and we moved to Plattsburgh so that my dad could be much closer to his business. He was a business owner. He started on Lower Bridge Street in Plattsburgh and finally moved up to Clinton Street, where he had a very, very successful music business for over 30 years. And during those times, as I was growing up, I spent many hours with him working and learning the business qualities and stuff you need to be a business type of person. After graduating from MAI, I went to Paul Smith College, where I studied in business forestry management, believe it or not. Business as far as learning the operations of forestry and what you would do with that. So that was quite an honor and skill. After that, I met the love of my wife Sandy Hazen, of 49 years. We got married 2 years after she graduated from high school, and we've been in here ever since. I've got a daughter and a son, and a very proud grandson, and we're very honored to call our own. My first career movement was right into business. I started off with a large retail drug company. Went after that 20 years with a successful paint company, national paint company here in the North Country. From there, as downsizing as the base left and things happened, I ended up going to a municipal emergency services, which is a very large fire sales company, the largest one in North America, where I spent my entire balance of my career. I retired back in March after 49 years in the business world, working with a lot of different people. Some of my accomplishments here in the North Country, I've been a volunteer firefighter until recently for 43 years. 28 years I spent with District 3 Fire Department, where I was honored with the Firefighter of the Year Award. In 2000, I was honored with Clinton County Firefighter of the Year Award. In 2018, I was honored by Saranac Lake for what they call the Preston Barnes Valor and Community Service Award, which they only give out once in a great while. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award for assisting them. And that goes back to my community service, where for the past 30 years I've sat on the Clinton County Stop DWI Advisory Board. I've been chairman of that for 10 years. And that's a appointed position by the area legislator in your area. I also was one of the founding members of the Clinton County Firefighters Haunted House, chairman of that for 13 years. When they left the air base, they were worried about it continuing on, and I was able to chair it. And over the 13 years I was in there, we raised over $100,000 for area schools for their fire prevention program. I also have been the Victims Impact Panel speaker for Clinton County Stop DWI, where if a person gets picked up for DWI, DUI, so on and so forth, they have to appear before our panel. And we do end up with 30 to 50 people per month that I speak for. I also created Project Prom at area schools back in 1994, where we teach the dangers to the students of drinking and driving under the influence. We have a mock crash on the fields, and we bring in the students out there along with all the fire departments. It's been very successful. Currently, I speak at 12 to 16 schools per year on this. And there's a lot more involved, but thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Continuing now with the 5th District seat for County Legislator in Clinton County, please welcome the Republican candidate, Kevin Randall. Kevin? 3 minutes. We'll give you a few extra seconds to get.
All right. So I apologize, but I'm going to read this because if I talk normally, I will go way too long. So this will hopefully keep me on message. I know Chucky and Mike will agree there. They've heard me talk before. All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Kevin Randall. I'm the Republican candidate for the Area 5 legislator. All right. I'm 58 years old. I graduated from Saranac Central School, and I studied at Clinton Community College for criminal justice. I've been married to my wife, April, for 30 years. We've raised 2 beautiful children. One's a city cop, my daughter, Chelsea, and my son is a union pipe fitter welder. At the age of 23, I started my career with the New York State Department of Corrections. After 9 years, I achieved training officer and instructor certified by MPTC, Municipal Police Training Council, and DCJS, Department of Criminal Justice Services. I worked in that position for 14 years, training staff at the facility. I was promoted to the rank of sergeant and then to lieutenant watch commander, where I learned management skills. I retired from that job after 31 plus years in December of 2021. I was elected to the office of Town Supervisor of Schuyler Falls in November of 2020. And I will complete my second term in that office on December of 31st of this year. As Town Supervisor, I've had the opportunity to learn many important government management duties. Responsibility of taxpayers' funds being the first and foremost. As the 5th largest town, my residents enjoy the 2nd lowest property tax rate in Clinton County. I've created and overseen multiple large projects. Some include a new recreation park, 4 water infrastructure projects, a total LED light conversion of all street lights, and a new splash pad that will be constructed this spring, just to name a few. I have fostered over $9 million of grants and funds in 4 short years and overseen the intense, never-ending paperwork to help pay for those projects. I have had oversight of multiple departments and payrolls as the chief financial officer of a town. I have approved fair and balanced budgets. I am a big supporter of community events. I find that most residents love the ability to enjoy social activities. I have hosted many, such as Music in the Park and, of course, our Winter Festival. I believe they are vital to our youth and connect our family to our North Country communities. I look forward to bringing new community events to the residents of Clinton County. I've been a volunteer firefighter for the Morrisville Fire Department for 36 years and have held multiple office positions, including chief and training officer, certified by New York State nationally. I turn my attention to the race. My vision and why I am running for Area 5 Legislator. I believe it is very important to attract and retain business in Clinton County. When business does well, we all do well. They create job growth and, most importantly, lower our property taxes. Lowering taxes encourages people to live and move in the area. They seek jobs, build homes, raise families, attend our schools, and shop at our local stores. This will continue growth of our communities and of Clinton County as a whole. I'd like to say this first. I will work hard to achieve these goals. You will always have a strong voice within me. My door will always be open. My phone will always be awaiting your call. And finally, I will work diligently to try to help you with any problem or concern that you may bring to my attention. Remember, I am your voice. You will always be heard. I work for you. Thank you very much, everybody, for showing up, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak here.
Thank you, Kevin.
Tom.
Are you going to be okay standing up here waiting for questions?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
I didn't know where that, okay. And Rick, where did Rick go? Rick, come on up, and we've got some questions for both of you gentlemen. First question is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of a board of supervisors instead of a county legislature? Rick, we'll let you take that first. Minute 30.
All right, that's a very good question. I guess the thing is with the county legislators, they are elected from each area, where supervisors, from what I've seen in the past, have a different look and value to what we're looking into. I'm all for the county legislator system, and I think it would be an advantage to keep that.
Thank you. Kevin? Yeah. Same question. Advantages and disadvantages of a board of supervisors instead of a county legislature.
Okay, so many counties do use town supervisors as their board rather than electing legislators. The one nice thing about having town supervisors as county legislators are they're very in tune with what's going on with their own communities, and it's a real good way to get feedback at the county level so that you're working in unison with both. I have no problem with the current system as elected legislators, as long as those elected legislators listen to their town, listen to their residents, and find out what they need. How can we help them? That will be my major concern and what my job will be as the Area 5 Clinton County legislator. So, yeah, there's definitely distinct differences there.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Next question. How can the county prepare to increase availability of affordable housing, especially in the event of an influx of new residents, including migrants, moving into the state? Affordable housing.
I think it's a very good question. Something that needs to be definitely addressed is the fact that we don't have that much available. It seems like housing is getting harder to come by every day. We have to work with our state officials and higher-ups and see where we can end up with this, because let's face it, that's one of our major things that's happening now, is we have to address that issue. So the county legislators, obviously working with the higher-ups at state level, whether it be our assembly people or senators, and see what we can do with that.
Great, thank you, Rick. Kevin, same question. How can the county prepare to increase availability of affordable housing, especially in the event of an influx of new residents, including migrants, moving into the state?
So migrants moving into the area is a problem for all areas around here. We do not have the housing that we need for the continued influx of those people into our area. I believe if they are going to be relocated up here, that the state and the federal government should have some subsidies and grants to help with housing to make sure that they are treated fairly and that they have a place to stay. As far as, you know, housing in the immediate area, as a town supervisor, I've watched property values so conflated over the last 3 years, especially after COVID. I mean, houses that we had assessed at 60-something thousand were selling at 180,000, over double what they were on the market or assessed at. This is a hard thing for young individuals to overcome when they're first starting a family and first starting to want to, you know, have their own home and start their lives. So, you know, good paying jobs is probably going to help with the market, but we, you know, and helping people to move into their homes. But we also have to have the ability of lower income housing to at least take care of the people that we need to, that maybe even can't take care of themselves. So it's a really tough question.
Thank you, Kevin. You gentlemen are a moderator's dream. I'll keep you up here for one more question. Because you're short and to the point. I'm going to throw in one more question. What is the biggest challenge facing Clinton County and the Clinton County Legislature?
Again, that's a very good question. I see quite a few challenges. One of the worst ones that comes to mind, I've been talking to a lot of people in my trip around Area 5, and one of the biggest concerns I'm hearing is they're afraid about Clinton Community College as well as Plattsburgh State. We're very concerned. Whether you know it or not, the enrollment at Clinton County Community College, Clinton Community College has dropped from 1,100 before COVID, now down to 500. Clinton County Legislature is funneling money in there every year to make them successful, but they're at the breaking point of 500 people, 500 students, and if we lose that college, we lose students, we lose housing, we're going to lose funds for these employees. They have nowhere to go. Plattsburgh State, if I'm not mistaken, has dropped enrollment of almost 3,500 people. That's scary, because if that place goes, we've lost Wyeth, we've lost Novabus, we've lost StarX. We can't afford to lose Plattsburgh State, so we have to figure a way for that to grow. Potsdam is on the chopping block right now. We need to do something, and fast. All right, that's just that. And in order for things to work, you know, we've got to come up with a plan. We the people, okay, this is about us. It's not about myself, it's not about my opponent, it's about we the people of Clinton County. We're representing Area 5, but we have to go back. We need to be your eyes, your ears. At that level, we need to come back and take care of this, because if we lose that, we're hurting. And almost one last thing, there's over $2 million in uncollected fines in Clinton County. I don't know how many people know that are fines through the court system. Right now, probation department is out over $600,000 in uncollected fines. We need a way to collect that money back.
Thank you. Thank you. Kevin? Again, the biggest challenge for Clinton County and the Clinton County Legislature.
Well, probably one of our biggest challenges we've had and seen over the years is maintaining businesses that have shown up here and have been here for a few years and keeping them here. We need to spur new business growth. New business growth, like I said, creates jobs. It makes people want to live here. Those are important things that will keep the property taxes down. If we keep the taxes down, again, it encourages growth, it encourages people to move here and want to live here. Again, we have to invest in our youth. We want to make sure that they're not moving out of the area, that, you know, that they've been brought up here. What can we do here to keep them here? What kind of jobs can we do to keep them here? Those things all are, again, have to play in together, but that's probably what I think is the most important thing.
Great, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. We are in the town of Plattsburgh tonight, so we're going to invite Michael Cashman to come up and say just a few quick words. Michael running unopposed, so no debate back and forth, but we asked him to welcome everyone and say a few words.
Thanks.
Couple of things that I will start off with. Tom kind of stole my thunder. Welcome to the town of Plattsburgh. It's fantastic to have you here in MHAB. Very proud of this facility and what Mike Carpenter and Betsy Vincencio have done, and along with their team members. But I want to clarify something as it relates to what Tom directly said. I believe in term limits. And some of you may have seen that this will be my last term of office as town supervisor. I think a lot of times people come to you and want to be a public servant and think that they have all the answers for all of time, and that is not the case. So to any of you that are new to this situation, I applaud you. I thank you for leaning in to this, but I would also like to give a strong show of hands in support. If you are a family member supporting one of these candidates, can we give those people a round of applause, please? Because they've put up with a lot of sacrifice and turmoil. So, in just ending this evening, my personal philosophy is one of listen, learn, and lead. And the truth of the matter is, for any one of us to be successful, truly any one of us to be successful, we need Democrats, we need Republicans, we need independents, we need working family members, and I have a lot of friends in this room tonight that are across that political spectrum. So congratulations for being here this evening. Please take something away. I know that some of you are sitting in your camps, but don't forget, on Election Day, you get to vote for whoever you want. So take care.
Thank you, Michael. And since we're giving thanks, I would be remiss if I didn't make sure to thank the League of Women Voters for all the work they do for this event and other events year-round with debates at Mountain Lake PBS. Our thanks to you folks. Now, we have 3 candidates running for 2 seats on the Plattsburgh Town Council. Democrat and Working Families candidate Tom Wood is seeking re-election. Tom is right here. Come on up.
This is
3 minutes. Yeah.
It's a three-way race.
And I'll explain. Tom is here, and unfortunately, Kevin could not make it. He was called in at work at the last minute, so 2 of the 3 candidates are here to speak tonight. Tom, start us off.
Tom Wood, I've been on the Town of Plattsburgh board for the last 20 years. I feel that it would be inappropriate if I took credit for all the things that have been done. We have a fantastic team, a team that works together and has brought, as far as I can tell, the best recreation department, best recreation department in the county and beyond. We have things for youth all the way through. We have many activities for adults. There's exercise classes. There's all kinds of things run by a wonderful team. Now, that's the key to what's going on in the town of Plattsburgh. We try to get the best we can for our employees. We have the best, in my opinion, some of the best supervisors in the whole county. And they are doing a fantastic job. We, as a town board, try to encourage them to do that, but we also come up with projects for them. One of the things that when I started out in this position, and by the way, I don't know about the term limits, 20 years, and I'm still running, perhaps, but it does seem like for all of the, in each of these departments, whichever one we have, there are big projects that need to be done. When I started, we were not addressing infrastructure. It was deteriorating, and it was not being treated. It was not being taken care of. That was one of the things that I really pushed at the beginning. as we've moved on and had different councils, this particular council and the previous one before have done a fantastic job of changing that, and we have a tremendous water and sewer plan that we've gone through. We have had, in terms of our highway department, we are experimenting with a new way of taking care of the roads in terms of using just salt and not sand. It's an experimental stage. It will be used this year on I think one road. And then if it works out, we're hoping to expand that. We have tried to cut down on costs. We have done a good job staying under the cap all the time that we've been here. And we have put LED lights in place of the others. It saves electricity, but also saves money that's going to go out in the future. The whole thing about planning is you have to do it ahead of time. You've got to look to the future. You've got to have that comprehensive land use plan and then follow up by doing the engineering studies and then getting the money that's available whenever the state or the federal government come up with it. I know, I took two. By the way, I could talk on.
We're right at 3 minutes. You've done this before. You can tell. Thank you, Tom. And Democrat and Working Families candidate Chuck Kosick is running for one of the two seats on the town council. Chuck, welcome. You have 3 minutes. Good to see you.
It's a tough act to follow, Tom. Thank you. My name's Chuck Kosick, Counselor, Deputy Supervisor of the town of Plattsburgh. I've been on the board for 6 years now, thanks to a kind invitation by Michael. Along with Meg Lefebvre, I filled an empty slot, and I've run a couple of times. I'd like to thank you to the organizers this evening, also to Thom Hallock for moderating for us. I grew up in Dexter, right outside of Watertown. Moved up to the area 37 years ago for work, as Rick would know, because we worked together. I worked for that same national drug chain. Still work for that same national drug chain, but it's 5 different names on the building later. I work as a field supervisor, asset protection, servicing 34 stores and about 800 employees. Live in Katyville with my wife, Sherry. We have a blended family of 4 kids, 8 grandkids. So if you wonder what I'm doing on a Saturday, it's either a soccer game, a hockey game, or a football game, one of the 3. Community service-wise, 43 years in the volunteer fire service, 37 with Katyville Fire Department, past chief of the department. Kevin and I were chiefs, neighboring for several years. Still serve as an assistant chief. They asked me to come back to help mentor some of the younger officers. I also serve as a Clinton County Deputy Coordinator assigned to the Fire Investigation Unit. So we're out there many times 3, 4 o'clock in the morning investigating fires. Various fire organizations that I belonged to over the years. Along with that, I serve on the Board of Directors for the Arthur Lefebvre Senior Apartments. If that wasn't enough, I did years as a Cub Scout, Boy Scout leader, and also coached soccer, baseball, basketball. The 6 years that I've been on the board have just been a blur of activity in the town of Plattsburgh. $24 million water, wastewater capital project, smart growth initiatives, street light conversions that Tom alluded to, recreation department that is second to none in the county. We're working on a rec and park master plan. We've put considerable funds into 3 of the parks, and we're going to continue to do more. Fleet management, electric vehicle cohorts, you name it. We've been working on it with the town of Plattsburgh. And it's my desire through that community service to continue on servicing the community. We have a lot more on the horizon. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. You guys are good. 3 minutes on the money, both of you. All right, and I do want to mention Republican Kevin Agnew is also running for one of the 2 seats. Kevin was planning to be here, had to call at the last minute, and it was working had to work overtime, and we know how that can be with companies. Sometimes the choice isn't yours, and so he regrets that he can't be here with us tonight. All right, we have a question for both of you gentlemen, for Tom and Chuck, if you want to come back up and join us.
Hopefully we agree. Well, we might not, but that's all right.
We don't always. It's more fun when you don't.
Council of five.
Do you believe the relationship between the town and city of Plattsburgh needs any growth or improvement? Is this relationship functional as is?
Go first.
Go ahead, Tom. We'll start with you.
We're how
going
did I
just
get
in
to
the
go
same order.
first?
Same order as we.
You know, alphabetically, I'm way behind that. You know.
We messed you up there.
I did forget to say one thing about the term limits. My wife has been for them for a long time. And what was the question again?
The relationship between the town and the city of Plattsburgh need any growth, need any improvement? Is it functional as is?
I think that we need growth, and we need to improve relations on every level, from the county to the city to the towns. And the town of Plattsburgh does a great job, I think, of working with other towns in terms of helping with their water, sewer. There's always between the highway departments, there's always a loaning and helping of things in terms of whenever it's needed. And with the city, we are working to cooperate in any way we can. Particularly, we're willing to go ahead and have. Let's see. Now, I just want to put this right. We would work with them to get grants that they need, perhaps, to help function in their infrastructure, improve their infrastructure. We've been willing to work with the city for many years, and it goes back beyond our present board or supervisor. There just has not been the camaraderie that we needed. I believe that we're at the point where we are there and we can do that kind of thing. How many minutes do I have?
Good, you're right on the money again. Thank you. And Chuck and Tom, stay right up here. We'll have one more follow-up question, but Chuck, same question. Do you believe the relationship between the town and city of Plattsburgh needs any growth or improvement? Is this relationship functional as is?
Definitely functional as is, and absolutely could use some growth. It's kind of like a marriage, where there's good days and there's bad days. But I really think that it's something that we can work together. I think it's vitally important that the city, the town, and the county work collaboratively for the betterment of the communities, for the betterment of the North Country. And I think our board has worked exceptionally hard to have those open doors and allow for that growth and that relationship with the city. And certainly those doors are open today. You know, I can think of numerous projects. Recreation's one of them. Out on the campaign trail, we hear it all the time. What are we doing for recreation? What are we doing for that indoor facility? That's just one example that we can all work together on.
Great. Gentlemen, stay right up here. We've got one more question for you. Same question that we gave to everybody else. The biggest challenge facing the town of Plattsburgh. Tom, we'll start with you.
Why do I always the biggest challenge is keeping good people in office and getting more good people to run for office. If we're going to continue to advance, if we're going to continue to improve as a town, as an area, we need to have people who can see the future. Look at the vision. Look at what it could be. Don't just settle for something. Let's go out there and try to find what is the thing. And I'll tell you why. One of the examples. We're starting a Veterans Gateway park, and most of you know where it is. It's over by Clare and Carl's along the river there, and it's cooperative. It's with American Legion. It's public, private, and these are the types of things that we really think will help with recreation and everything. But I said, when they brought it up, let's look at the big picture. What if we use lasers, like they do in Disney World, to show the ships on there and show the whole battle? Battle of Plattsburgh. Well, no, you know, they said it would be too expensive. But if you don't dream about it, if you don't look to the future, if you don't see what could be, then you're never going to get there. And I think that's the thing that we need. We need vision, and we need am I 3 minutes of it?
Nope,
And we need,
you're right on time again. Thank you. Chuck, same question. Biggest challenge for the town of Plattsburgh?
Well, I think every challenge is an opportunity, and really, that's what I see it as. But that challenge, that opportunity is housing, 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 coupled with recreation, recreation, and recreation. We can bring in all the businesses we want to bring in. We can create all the jobs that we want to create, which we have been very successful with in the North Country. But if we don't have some place for them to live affordably, if we don't have something for them to do, we're not going to draw those people in. We're not going to keep those people in the North Country. And if you look at our housing record in the town of Plattsburgh right now, we've been highly successful. Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, the last 4 years, 300 units, I believe, of housing created within the town of Plattsburgh. And projected right now, or in the planning stage right now, is at least 200 more. So that's vital. We have to have some place for them to live affordably.
Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you.
Tom, comment, sorry, I forgot what the question was.
No, very, you did well. All right, time to move on to the city of Plattsburgh now. In Ward 2, Democrat and Working Families candidate Jake Avery is here with us tonight. Just to say a very quick hello, you have no one here to debate, so, and then we'll move on. Just say hello if you'd like.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm Jacob Avery, running Plattsburgh Ward 2. Great to be here. Thank you all for putting this on. I ran in 2020. I'm working at the college. I'm a director for the Center for Student Involvement, activities, clubs, organizations, and a whole bunch of other stuff you don't necessarily care about right now. But happy to do a lecture another time. Running again, almost for the same platform as I ran in 2020, is transparency and accessibility. In Ward 2, the biggest thing I heard knocking on doors in 2020 is the exact same thing I'm hearing knocking on doors, even today where I'm knocking on doors, is you're my counselor, you're running for council, please talk to me more. I've been lacking that for a number of years. Please come call me when you have an issue. This is what I'm campaigning on. If you see an issue in the city of Plattsburgh and in the area, please come meet me. And I'm running on the same platform as 2020. I want to reiterate that. Thank you all again for being here. I appreciate this opportunity. Take care, and please call and reach out.
And now it's my pleasure to move on to Ward 5. We have two candidates, Democrat and Working Families candidate David Monette is here. David? Welcome. You have 3 minutes.
So first of all, is it okay if I move around? You guys can hear me? I'm a mover when I talk. I teach, so I'm constantly doing this in my classroom. Thank you, Tom.
Let me give you the microphone then, and let's do that.
All right, cool. Thanks again for inviting me here. I think it's great to have these kinds of venues. I think it's wonderful for the community to get to hear the people who are going to be running, what they think and what they have to say. Like Tom said, my name is David Monette. I'm an illustrator. I basically I do art for different companies, books, magazines, websites. I grew up in Champlain and went to school at NCCS. From there I went to Mohawk Valley Community College. I went to Syracuse University and finally got my master's degree to be able to teach at the University of Hartford. It was there that my teacher said, you know, you write really well, and what you should do is pair your writing with your illustrations. So that's what I did. So now I write books and I get to illustrate them, which is kind of fun. It's neat for me. So that's what I do. That's what I do professionally. I also teach at, like I said, Plattsburgh State. I teach art there. I'm a husband. I've been a husband for 20 years. My wife isn't here, so I I don't really need to know the number exactly. In years, we'll say that. I have 2 kids. I have a daughter. She's 13 going on 30. It's weird. And I have a son who is 17. And that math is really weird because we all know that I'm only 16. So, you know, running for ward a council person has always been something that I've wanted to do. When you're a father and you have little kids, I heard one gentleman saying his weekends are full of sports activities, and that's just the way it is. But when you reach a certain age, they stop caring as much whether dad is around. They don't need their diapers changed, and so I now have the opportunity to do the kinds of things, the community kind of things that I want to do. Community-wise, aside from teaching at Plattsburgh State, I also am on the library board. I get to help oversee their budget. Before I was working at Plattsburgh State, I worked for the Strand Center for the Arts, where I was the gallery director. I saw that job as an avenue to help make the city of Plattsburgh an interesting place to be. If you go around, I've been around to many cities, and one of the things that I've noticed is, you know, to have a thriving arts area is something that young people like, and those are the kinds of people that we want to stay. I don't know about you folks, but I want my kids to live around me. I want them to have something in this city that they want to stay for, and the arts are part of that. And there's a lot of other things. There's the parks that we have, the maintenance of them. When we have people that come into the city, they want to see that it's a beautiful place, and keeping our parks healthy is one of those. I see, Tom, am I out of time? Yeah. All right, so thank you for this opportunity again.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it. And now the Republican candidate for the Ward 5 seat on the City Council, Barry Finnegan. Welcome.
I thought I go first.
What's that?
You always follow me.
I know, that's right. Good
We're
point.
just saying, usually at the honor flight send-offs, Tom follows me.
right.
So we kind of got this backwards, but thank you everyone for putting this on, Champlain Valley Business and Professional Women, and to the Adirondack Young Professionals. 2 great groups that is great for the community. We're very fortunate to have both of you, and we hope you stay around for a long time. My name is Barry Finnegan. I am born and raised in Keysville, New York. Lived my lifetime in Clinton County. We actually had to sit down and figure this out because I have left town a few times for short periods, but always came back and always lived in Clinton County. I've been living in Plattsburgh for 19 years now. And if you would have told me I was standing up here as a candidate early in this year, you could have made a bet and won a lot of money. Never had any intentions of doing this whatsoever. A couple of things that happened that really affected me in a personal way. I worked in the concrete industry for 35 years, owned 2 businesses at the end. I know structures very well. I know structural integrity very well. And when they said they're going to tear down the crate, that broke my heart. That building had a lot of meaning to a lot of people and a lot of activity for the youth. We're just talking about recreation and housing. Well, there's a huge part of our recreation that's no longer here. Something needs to be done out there with that, and I hope to be a part of the planning process to get that accomplished. Outside of that, I just think that there's a lot of help that I can bring to the table. At the honor flight, I've only got one major job. We've got experts in whole different fields. We got experts that deal with airports. We got experts that deal with the financial end of things. I have one function, and that's to make one team come together for a common cause and make it work and keep everybody on task, that there's nobody out there trying to do something for their own personal self. Let's keep on what we need to do and accomplish the mission, and I'd like to carry that on in the City Council on Ward 5. Thank you.
Stay right up here, Barry. David, come on back up if you would. Barry, stay up here. We'll ask you gentlemen a couple of questions. David, we'll start with you. The question asks, can you speak about the changes to the paid parking in the city? How much of these fees are used for the benefit of the city? Can you speak about the changes to paid parking in the city of Plattsburgh, and how much of these fees are used for the benefit of the city?
Thanks, Tom. That's a good question. You know, I think that the parking fees that began is a little bit of cart before the horse. I think that, you know, as far as usually you see in downtown areas and cities in general, the need for parking fees come up when there's a critical mass met, as far as need for parking, and I don't really feel that in the city of Plattsburgh we've reached that yet. I think that, you know, as far as where the fees go, I'm not 100% sure on where they actually go. I would assume that they'd go right to the city of Plattsburgh, you know, but if I'm elected into Ward 5, I'll find that out and we'll go from there. Sound good?
Thank you, David. Stay right here. We'll have another question for you. Barry, same question. Can you speak about the changes to paid parking in the city and how much of these fees are used for the benefit of the city?
I haven't seen any of the numbers as far as the paid parking, so I wouldn't know what portion of that goes to help the city or what part of the city that goes to. I will tell you this, I live just over the bridge down on Saley Avenue, and I would rather walk down than have to go down and read a machine and study up on what I gotta do to pay for parking. I do the same thing in Burlington. I'll park somewhere different. It's just a hassle that I don't think the downtown area needs right now. They've had a rough couple of years, coming off of COVID and then going right into this reconstruction. And the paid parking thing just isn't a fit. Maybe sometime in the future, but not right now. If it was up to me, I'd do away with the whole process. Thank you.
Barry. David, next question for you. What do you think of having a hotel by the marina? Hotel project down on the waterfront.
I think a hotel would be great if it was capable of sustaining itself, and that it was that the city of Plattsburgh didn't have to go into that. If we could sell it for what it was worth, that land, and that if it could be a functioning good hotel, I think having something like a hotel downtown would be nothing but a benefit for that area. For the city as a whole, I think it would benefit the restaurants and shops that would be there. I just think, I know that the number of 1.2 million was thrown around for how much that land would be sold for, and that's a lot of money. I don't have that much money. But I also think that, you know, with the remediation of the soil that has to occur, $300,000 worth of remediation, I think everyone in this room who's ever been around anything that had to be remediated knows that that's not the actual cost. It's always more. If they also want to have an engineer on site, we also have to clean up the wastewater plant, the odor in the site. All these are costs that the city has to take under consideration. So those kinds of things are things that we have to look at when we think of negotiating for that parcel. Would a hotel be great? Yes. Would it be great if it's under the terms that are good for the city? Yes. Are they like that? I don't know.
Okay, thank you, David. Yep. Very same question. Your thoughts on selling the plot of land down by the marina for a hotel?
This is a extremely long-term situation that we're in right now. This is going to impact the city of Plattsburgh for generations. What goes down there is going to drive the downtown, or it's going to drive away the downtown. We need to get this exactly the way that the people of Plattsburgh want it, and we need to take those opinions into consideration. A hotel would be a great idea. The numbers I see just don't kind of make sense to me. $1.2 million for a chunk of land that size on the waterfront seems out of whack with reality, especially when we're going to sink more money into the remediation. those numbers don't match up. And as far as us giving that property away, basically, just so something is there, that doesn't make sense. I think there's a money-making opportunity here for the city to help out their finances, and we really need to get this right. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Stay right here. Next question. How do you feel about the current relationship with the mayor and the council? And how will you improve the downtown situation? Your feelings about the relationship between the council and the mayor right now, and how will you improve the downtown situation?
So I've been to a few of the council meetings, and you know, I'm much more of a listener than I am a talker. This aside, I do tend to listen a lot more than I speak, and I'm the kind of guy. If you have a good idea, I'll listen. If it makes sense financially, if it makes sense ethically, then I'll do that. But if it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's just the way I see it. As far as how the council gets along with the mayor now, listen, you're going to agree on some stuff, and some stuff you're not going to agree on. That's just the way it goes. If I get in there, I'm not gonna say I'm going to be for the mayor. I'm not going to be saying I'm against the mayor. I'm not going to be saying I'm for any of the councilors that are here now or against them. What I am for is for my ward doing well, and by association, the city of Plattsburgh doing well. I think those two things trump any other consideration there is.
Thank you, Dave. Barry, same question. How do you feel about the relationship between the council and the current mayor, and how will you improve the downtown situation?
From what I see, and of course, what you read in the paper mostly is there is some tension, it seems like, at city council. That's a shame. It should be all people striving towards one goal to make a better Plattsburgh. To see the fighting going on, and it all seems to me like it's based on information. If all the people have the same information and the same amount of time to review that information, do their homework, come up with a logical choice and a logical path to follow through with this process, things would go a lot smoother. So right now, that's what seems to be holding up a lot of things, and it seems to be a little bit sketchy at times. So let's hope that can get cleared up, and we can move on to a better Plattsburgh. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Barry and David. Thank you, gentlemen. And thank everyone for coming. I did check with the organizers. We were going to keep it to 90 minutes, and that's what we're going to do. We know there were a couple of questions that didn't get asked. We thank you for filling out the questions and asking. We feel that we got a lot asked tonight, and we really appreciate the candidates coming here tonight and participating. We thank all of you for coming. We thank the League of Women Voters. We thank the Adirondack Young Professionals, Elliot and Tyler, for picking up the questions, and of course, the Champlain Valley Business and Professional Women for hosting this Candidates Night every year. And thanks to you for coming out on a Tuesday night and spending 90 minutes with us and being part of this. We appreciate it.